lovely people, welcome back to Bailey's Bites. Today we're going to continue our road down basics of Italian, and we're going to get stuck into one of the most simplest breads you could ever make. We're going to make focaccia today. It's very basic, it's not very time consuming, just requires a little bit of rest time, and if you're anybody like me, there's a cheat or two that we can help you with as well. So let's just get started. First of all, we have just some warm water out of the tap, okay, and to that, guys, we're going to add 7 grams of dried yeast, okay. If you get the packets of dried yeast from the supermarket, every packet is 7 grams, very helpful. Add that to your water, and to that, guys, we're just going to add 2 teaspoons of sugar, okay. The sugar is going in because it's going to act as food for the yeast. It's going to get it fired up and ready to go. Alright, so once that's in there, give it a mix, guys. We get a little bit pasty, a little bit cloudy, and a little bit foamy, as you can see. Okay, once that's in there, guys, put that to one side, leave it for 10 minutes, get the yeast nice and activated, and we'll be right back. Okay, so 5 minutes, and you can see our little brew of yeast, water, and sugar is starting to foam up nicely. Okay, that's the sugar and the yeast having their way together, and that's basically what we want now, and that's going to go straight into the dough, which we're going to start in my mixer. I'm cheating. I did arm day yesterday, guys. I'm a bit sore, okay? If you don't have one of these lovely mixers at home, no stress. Just knead it out like you would on the bench top. It's not going to change it at all. It'll just take a little bit longer, okay? So I've got about 10 grams of salt flakes in here, guys, into just some plain flour. All right, and that'll go straight into the bowl. If you do have a mixer at home, you want the dough hook attachment. Okay, straight in with our yeast, water, and sugar mix. Okay, lid on if you've got one. If you don't, obviously no lid. Wind it up, and just on low, guys. Okay, so this one's on level 1. You don't want to beat the life out of the dough. You just want to start incorporating all the wet ingredients into your dry ingredients, and then you want to start to knead the dough, which is then going to activate the glutens, which will give you the rise and the stretch in your dough. Okay, so we'll come back to that in about 10 minutes or so. So 10 minutes in the machine, probably about 10 or 15 by hand, guys, and we're at the point where we've reached a lovely ball of dough, which is beautiful and elastic and smooth. Okay, and as you can see, it's pretty stretchy, pretty sticky. Alright, and if you smell it, oh, it smells beautiful, guys. It smells like bread. Alright, it's lovely and yeasty. Okay, so what we're going to do is I'm going to pop him back in the bowl, just like that. Cover him with a tea towel, like so. Leave it somewhere warm. It's going to take about 40 minutes. You want it to kind of double in size, guys. We're going to prove it, okay? So we're going to prove it in the bowl, double in size, and then we're going to come back, and then we're going to knock its teeth out, okay? Rightio, guys, we're there. I've decided to leave this for an hour, okay? It's a bit cold in here, it's a bit chilly, so it's taken a little while to sort of come to life, but as you can see, if I pull back, look at that. That's probably doubling a bit, all right? And you can see, if you have a look at the top here, you actually see some little bubbles starting to come through and form. All right, so what we're going to do is what I alluded to earlier. We're going to punch its teeth in. Well, not actually, it doesn't have any teeth. Okay, this process is called knocking back. So literally, fist in, just like that. Okay, you're going to knock all the air out of it because it's focaccia. We don't want any big bubbles. Once it's been knocked back in the bowl, take it out onto your bench, and just a really quick knead, guys. All right, this is just to take out the big air bubbles, because we don't want big air bubbles in focaccia. You want some big air bubbles in bread, sourdough, but not focaccia. So give it a little bit of a work, bit of a knead, and then what I've got here, guys, just a very generously greased cake tin, square cake tin. I've just greased it with some olive oil. Okay, and we're gonna put it in there and push it out. Okay, Just keep pushing it out, guys. It's gonna resist a little bit, but just work your way gently, work around. What you're trying to do is just try and push it to the edges of the tin. If it doesn't make it the whole way, no stress, guys, all right? Don't stress too much about it. It's a really rustic bread. It doesn't have to look too pretty, okay? It's gonna sit in this tin for about another 10 minutes and have another prove though, okay? So, as before, same as before, just get your tea towel, just drop it over the top, put it into your nice warm spot, 10, maybe 20 minutes, let it relax and prove up again, and then we'll finish it off. While that's happening, guys, I want you to get your oven. I want you to preheat it to 200 degrees. If you've got a fan force oven, that's 180 degrees, and get that ready. You almost want to eat it like it is. Don't eat it now, guys. It won't be very nice. Trust me. All right. So, like I said, preheated 200 degree oven, 180 fan force, 20 to 25 minutes. It'll tell you when it's done, guys, when it's nice and golden on top. 20 minutes later, and you've got this magic. Just look at that. Beautiful golden crust on the outside. Lovely spongy texture on the inside. Let it cool for just a couple of minutes in the tin, guys, and then just tip it out onto a cake rack. I've got two here. Place one on top. Grab both sides. Flip it over. Look at that. Nice crispy backside on it too. And then with the other cake rack, flip it back onto this bottom side. I know the temptation is to eat it now, guys, but if you give that 10 or 15 minutes, it's going to be much more pleasurable eating it at that temperature than what it is at 200 degrees, okay? Give it a bit of time, let it rest, serve it warm, a little bit of olive oil on the side, and you're good to go. Happy days, happy baking. Thanks, guys.